It was supposed to be a simple fight, the kind couples have and get over. But when Angeline told Han Tai-sung to take her home and he refused, when he told her to find her own way like she meant nothing, everything changed. She left. He watched her go from his window, too stubborn to follow. 24 hours later, Angeline was missing, and Tae-sung was staring at the burned remains of her tattoo shop. The Korean Mafia boss had made a choice that night, choosing pride over the woman he loved. Now someone else had made a choice too. Someone who wanted Angeline gone. Someone who'd been watching, waiting for the exact moment when Seoul's most protected woman would be vulnerable. And Tae-sung had given them that moment on a silver platter. The question now wasn't if he'd find her, it was whether he'd find her alive. The glass shattered against the wall, missing Tae-sung's head by inches. "You killed him," Angeline said, her voice shaking. Not from fear, from rage. "You killed Ji-woo." Han Tai-sung didn't flinch. He stood by the window of his penthouse, looking out at Seoul's lights like he owned every single one of them. Maybe he did. His white shirt was still perfectly pressed, even though it was past midnight. That was Tae-sung, always composed, always in control. "He stole from me," Tae-sung said, his voice flat. He knew what would happen. He was 23 years old. Angeline's hands were trembling now. She'd tattooed Ji-woo just last week. A dragon wrapped around his forearm. He'd been so excited, talking about his music career, how he was going to make it big. Now he was dead in a ditch somewhere in Gangnam. Not old enough to make choices. Tae-sung turned to face her. His eyes were cold. Those same eyes that looked at her with warmth just hours ago were now empty. Old enough to face consequences. "I can't do this anymore." Something flickered across his face. Fast, like lightning. Then it was gone. "Then don't," he said. The words hit harder than any slap could. Angeline felt her chest tighten. 2 years. 2 years of this dance between them. 2 years of pretending she didn't know what he did. 2 years of lying to herself that love could somehow exist in this world of blood and money. "Take me home," she said quietly. "No." She looked up at him. "What?" "You heard me." Tae-sung walked to his bar, poured whiskey into a glass. His movements were slow, deliberate. "You want to leave?" "Leave. But I'm not driving you anywhere." "You're serious right now?" He drank, didn't answer. "Tae-sung, it's almost midnight." "Seoul has taxis, subways. Use your phone." He set the glass down with a sharp click. "You're a grown woman, Angeline. You've been telling me for 2 years that you don't need me. Prove it." Her heart was pounding so hard she could hear it in her ears. This wasn't like their usual fights. Those ended with angry kisses and whispered apologies in the dark. This felt different. Final. "Fine." She grabbed her jacket from the couch. "Don't call me. Don't come to my shop. We're done." She waited. Waited for him to stop her, to say something. Anything. He poured another drink. Angeline walked to the door. Her hand was on the handle when his voice stopped her. You knew who I was from the beginning." She looked back. He was watching her now, his face unreadable. "I never lied to you," he continued. "I never pretended to be something I'm not. You chose this. You chose me." "I chose wrong," she said, and walked out. The hallway was cold, quiet. Her footsteps echoed on the marble floor as she walked to the elevator. She pressed the button. Waited. The doors opened. She stepped inside. The doors closed. And she let herself cry. The streets of Seoul at midnight were alive with people. Couples walking hand in hand. Groups of friends stumbling out of karaoke bars. Angeline walked past them all, her vision blurry with tears. She should call a taxi. Should go straight home. But her feet kept moving, taking her through the familiar streets of Gangnam toward Itaewon. Her phone buzzed. She pulled it out, hoping, hating herself for hoping. It was Zuri. "Girl, where are you?" "I'm at the shop." Angeline wiped her face. She'd forgotten Zuri was coming by to pick up some equipment. Heading there now, 20 minutes. The walk helped clear her head. By the time she reached Itaewon, the tears had stopped. Her shop was on a side street, tucked between a vintage clothing store and a late-night ramen spot. The lights were still on inside. Zuri was waiting by the door, looking gorgeous as always in a silver dress that caught the streetlights. She took one look at Angeline's face, and her smile dropped. What did he do? Can we not? Angeline unlocked the shop door. Let's just grab your stuff and go. But Zuri knew her too well. They'd met 3 years ago at a black expat meetup in Seoul. I'm both tired of being the only ones in rooms full of curious stares. Zuri worked as a club promoter in Hongdae, knew everyone, knew everything. He hurt you, Zuri said. It wasn't a question. He let me walk out. Angeline flipped on the lights. Her shop materialized around them, walls covered in flash art, her station neat and organized, ready for tomorrow's appointments. This place was hers. She'd built it from nothing. We had a fight, and I asked him to take me home, and he said no. If you're already hooked and want to see what happens to Angeline next, drop a comment below telling me what you think Tae-sung should have done. Should he have gone after her? And don't forget to hit that subscribe button because this story is about to get wild. Zuri's eyes went wide. He what? Told me to find my own way home. Angeline started gathering Zuri's equipment, the portable speaker she'd borrowed last month. Said I was a grown woman. That petty little... Zuri caught herself. Okay, but why were you fighting? Angeline's hand stilled. She couldn't tell Zuri everything. Couldn't tell her about Jiwoo, about what Tae-sung really did. Some secrets were too dangerous to share. He made a business decision I didn't agree with, she said finally. A business decision. Zuri's voice was flat. Angel, what does that man actually do? Like really do? Import, export. The lie tasted bitter. Right. And I'm the Queen of England. Zuri took the speaker from her. Look, I know you don't want to hear this, but I've been worried about you. The way he looks at you, it's intense. Like obsessive intense. He's not obsessive. Girl, he bought the building your apartment is in. He's protective. He has men following you. That's for safety. Seoul can be. Seoul is one of the safest cities in the world, and you know it. Zuri grabbed her hand. I love you. You're my sister. So I'm saying this with love. That man is dangerous. If she only knew how right she was. A car drove past outside, slow, too slow. Angeline glanced at the window, but couldn't see through the reflection. I ended it tonight, she said, so you don't have to worry anymore. Zuri pulled her into a hug. Good. You deserve better. You deserve someone who treats you right. The car passed again. Same black sedan, same tinted windows. Angeline's stomach dropped. Zuri, you should go. What? I just got here. Please. Angeline walked to the window, trying to see the license plate. The car turned the corner, disappeared. I'm tired. I just want to lock up and go home. Zuri studied her face. You're scaring me. I'm fine, just exhausted. Angeline forced a smile. Text me when you get home, okay? After Zuri left, Angeline locked the door and turned off the front lights. She moved through the dark shop to the back room, pulled out her phone. 3 missed calls from Soo-jin, Tae-sung's right-hand man. No calls from Tae-sung himself. Her finger hovered over his name in her contacts. She could call, could apologize, could pretend tonight never happened. No, she'd meant what she said. They were done. Angeline grabbed her bag and headed for the back exit. The alley was dark, lit only by a single flickering bulb. She was halfway to the street when she heard it. Footsteps. She turned. The alley was empty. Just shadows and trash bags and the distant sound of music from the ramen shop. She was being paranoid. Too many years looking over her shoulder. Too many nightmares about Atlanta. Atlanta. She hadn't thought about that night in months. Tae-sung made her feel safe enough to forget. Safe enough to stop checking every face in every crowd. Safe enough to sleep without a knife under her pillow. But now, walking alone through Seoul's back alleys at 1 a.m, it all came rushing back. The tattoo shop in Atlanta, her mentor Aaron, the smell of blood, the gunshots, Malik's face as he stepped over Aaron's body. You didn't see nothing, did you? But she had seen everything. And when the police came, when they asked if she'd testify, she'd said yes, because she was young and stupid and believed in justice. The trial, the threats, the night someone shot through her apartment window. The federal agent with the kind smile who promised witness protection would keep her safe. The new name, new city, new life. And then, 6 months later, seeing her case file on the news, her real name, her new location, everything leaked. She'd run, bought a ticket to Seoul with money she'd saved, started over. Again. That was 3 years ago, 3 years of peace, 3 years of being just Angeline, the American tattoo artist in Itaewon. No past, no fear. Until tonight. That car, those slow passes, the way her skin was prickling with awareness. She was probably imagining things, probably just paranoid because of the fight with Tae-sung. Her phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. Nice shop you got. Her blood turned to ice. Another text. Atlanta says hello. No. No. Angeline ran. She burst out of the alley onto the main street, into the light, and people and noise. Her heart was trying to punch through her ribs. She pulled up her taxi app with shaking hands. 3 minutes away. She couldn't go home. If they found her shop, they knew where she lived. She couldn't go to Tae-sung. That would put him in danger, too. A 24-hour jjilbang, the one in Hanam-dong. She could hide there, think, figure out what to do. The taxi pulled up. She jumped in, gave the address, spent the whole ride watching the rear window. No one followed, at least no one she could see. The bathhouse was bright and warm and full of elderly women who'd come to soak away their aches. Angeline paid for a locker, changed into the provided clothes, tried to blend in. She found a quiet corner in the sleeping room where people crashed on mats under dim lights. She lay down, stared at the ceiling, tried to think. How did they find her? She'd been so careful. Used cash when she could. Kept a low profile. Never posted her exact location online. Tae-sung. Her stomach twisted. She'd started dating him a 1.5 years ago. Started being seen with him in public. And Tae-sung wasn't exactly invisible. He was known. Connected. Anyone looking for her would eventually check who she was involved with. This was her fault. She'd gotten comfortable. Let her guard down. Her phone lit up. Another unknown number. Time she almost didn't open it. The message was a photo. Her shop. But not from tonight. From inside. Someone had been in her shop. The next photo came through. Her apartment. Her bedroom. Her bed. She was going to be sick. The third photo made her drop the phone. It was her and Tae-sung, taken through a window. His penthouse, from last week. The message that followed was simple. Run all you want. We know everything. Angeline's hands were shaking so badly she could barely type. She opened an encrypted messaging app she hadn't used in 3 years. Sent a message to the only person who might help. A hacker she'd met in witness protection. Someone as paranoid and careful as she'd been. They found me. Need to know how. The reply came faster than expected. Where are you? Seoul, South Korea. Shit. Okay. Give me an hour. Why, stay off your phone. They might be tracking it. Angeline turned off her phone completely. Lay back down. Closed her eyes. Sleep was impossible. But she must have dozed off because the next thing she knew, someone was shaking her shoulder. An employee. Miss, you can't sleep here without paying for overnight. Angeline checked the wall clock. 3 a.m. She paid for the night rate, went back to her corner. Turned on her phone just long enough to check messages. The hacker had sent a long explanation. Technical jargon she only half understood, but the summary was clear. Someone had hacked the Seoul police database, found records of her visa application, cross-referenced with known associates, built a profile. "They're good," the message ended. "Professional. Well-funded. This wasn't some random search. Someone paid serious money to find you." Another message. "Do you have somewhere safe to go?" Angeline thought about Zuri, but that would put her in danger. Thought about the other expats she knew. Same problem. Thought about Tai-sung. No, she couldn't. Wouldn't. She sent back. "I'll figure it out. Seoul's a hard city to hide in. Cameras everywhere. Facial recognition. If they found you once, they'll find you again." "I know. Then you have two choices. Run further, or eliminate the threat." Eliminate the threat. Like it was that simple. But maybe it could be. Angeline opened a different app, started searching. It took her an hour, but she found what she was looking for. A name. Malik Johnson, released from federal prison 8 months ago. Good behavior. 8 months. He'd been out 8 months, and it took him this long to find her. That meant he'd been searching, hunting. She found his brother's Instagram, public profile, recent post from Incheon International Airport, 2 days ago. He was here, in Seoul. The caption was just an emoji, a knife. Angeline felt something shift inside her. The fear was still there, but underneath it, something colder, harder. She'd run for 3 years, changed her entire life, lost everything because of him. Not anymore. She had 4 hours until sunrise, 4 hours to make a plan. She turned off her phone again, this time for good. If they were tracking it, let them track it here while she moved. She'd buy a burner tomorrow. For now, she needed to think. Malik was in Seoul. He'd found her shop, her apartment, knew about Tai-sung, but he hadn't made a move yet. Why? If he wanted her dead, he could have done it already. Could have walked into her shop this afternoon and shot her. No, he wanted something else. Wanted her scared. Wanted her to run so he could chase. That's who Malik was. He liked the hunt. Fine. She'd give him a hunt. But first, she needed to disappear. Really disappear. And she needed to make sure no one else got hurt in the process. At 6 in the morning, she left the gym Jilbang. Seoul was waking up. Early commuters heading to work. Street vendors setting up. The city looked normal. Safe. She caught a bus to Hongdae. Paid cash. Kept her head down. At a convenience store, she bought a burner phone and a hat. Changed her jacket. Pulled her hair back. She texted Zuri from the burner. "It's Angel. Don't ask how I got this number. I need a favor." Zuri called immediately. What's going on? You sound weird." "Can I crash at your place for a few days?" "Of course, but..." "What? I'll explain later. I need to lay low." There was a pause. "This is about him, isn't it? About Tai-sung. Did he threaten you?" "No, it's not him. It's complicated." "Angel, you're scaring me again." "I know. I'm sorry. I'll tell you everything when I see you. What's your code?" Zuri gave her the door code. "I'm at work until noon, but make yourself at home. There's food in the fridge." "Thank you." "And Zuri? If anyone asks, you haven't heard from me." "Who would ask?" "Anyone." She hung up before Zuri could ask more questions. Zuri's apartment was small but nice, tucked above a cafe in Hongdae. Angeline let herself in, locked the door behind her, checked every window. 3rd floor. Fire escape outside. On good sight lines to the street. Old habits. She hadn't lived like this in 2 years. Hadn't checked exits and escape routes since meeting Tai-sung. His presence had been like a shield. Even when she didn't want it, even when they fought, she'd felt protected. Now that shield was gone, and she remembered how thin her skin really was. Her burner phone rang. Unknown number. Her heart stopped. "Hello? Miss Cavendish." The voice was smooth. American accent. "You're a hard woman to reach." She knew that voice. Federal Agent Morrison, the one who'd promised to keep her safe, the one whose department had leaked her information. "How did you get this number? I just bought this phone an hour ago," he laughed. "We're good at our job, most of the time. Could have fooled me. I deserve that," he sighed. "Look, I know you don't trust us. I know we failed you, but I'm calling because we have a problem. We don't have anything. I'm not in witness protection anymore. I left. Malik Johnson entered South Korea 3 days ago. We've been tracking him. Little late for that. He's not alone. He brought 3 men with him, ex-military. These aren't street thugs, Miss Kavindu. They're professionals." Her mouth went dry. "What does he want? What do you think? You put him away for 8 years. Cost him everything. He wants revenge. Then why are you calling me? Why not just arrest him? We have no jurisdiction in South Korea. We've alerted the Korean authorities, but without proof of intent, they can't do anything. He's technically just a tourist. So you're telling me I'm on my own. I'm telling you to be careful. And if you need help, call me. I'll do what I can." "Like you did before?" He was quiet for a moment. "I'm sorry about what happened. That leak, it wasn't supposed to happen. There was an investigation." "An investigation doesn't bring back the year I lost. Doesn't give me back my life. No, it doesn't. But for what it's worth, I tried. I really did try to find you after you ran, to make sure you were okay." "Don't call this number again," Angeline said, and hung up. She sat on Zuri's couch, trying to process. 4 men, professionals. This was worse than she thought. Her mind went to Tai Sung. He had people, resources, could protect her. But that would mean telling him everything. About Atlanta, about Aaron, about who she really was. And after last night, after the way they'd left things, she couldn't. Wouldn't. She'd handled things on her own before. She could do it again. Her phone buzzed. A text from the hacker. "Found something. Malik's been making calls. Tapped into his hotel Wi-Fi. He's planning something for tomorrow night. Location mentioned is in Gangnam. I'm trying to get more details." Tomorrow night. That gave her less than 48 hours. To do what, she didn't know. But sitting here, waiting to die, wasn't an option. She needed information. Needed to know where Malik was staying, what he was planning, who he'd talked to. And she needed to do it without Tae Sung finding out. The irony wasn't lost on her. For 2 years, his world had terrified her. The violence, the moral compromises, the blood on his hands. Now she was planning her own violence, her own compromise. Maybe they weren't so different after all. Angeline spent the day researching. The burner phone was slow but secure. She found Malik's hotel. The Grand Hyatt in Itaewon. Expensive. He was making a statement. She found social media posts from one of his guys, club photos from last night, arena in Gangnam. They were living it up, enjoying Seoul. That made her angry in a way fear couldn't. They were here to kill her, and they were partying. By the time Zuri came home at noon, Angeline had a plan. Risky. Probably stupid. But better than hiding. Zuri took one look at her face and dropped her bag. "Okay. Talk. Now." So Angeline told her, not everything, but enough. About Atlanta, about Iran, about testifying and witness protection and running. Zuri listened without interrupting. When Angeline finished, she was quiet for a long moment. "So there's a gang member in Seoul right now who wants you dead." 4 gang members. But yes. And the FBI can't help. Won't help. And you're not going to tell Tai Sung because we broke up, and because this isn't his problem. Zuri gave her a look. "Angel, the man is obsessed with you. You think he's just going to let someone hurt you?" "He doesn't know. He knows everything. I guarantee you he already knows something's wrong." Angeline thought about the missed calls from Soo Jin last night. Maybe Zuri was right. "I can't involve him," she said firmly. "These people, they'll kill anyone connected to me. That's why I shouldn't even be here. I'm putting you in danger just by—" "Stop!" Zuri grabbed her hands. You're my family. You think I'm going to let you face this alone? Please! Zuri, no, listen. Oh, you need help. If not Tae-sung, then me. And I know people. Lots of people. People who owe me favors. This isn't a favor kind of situation. Then what is it? What are you planning to do? Angeline hesitated, then said, I'm going to find them before they find me. That's not a plan. That's a suicide mission. You have a better idea? Zuri was quiet. Then she pulled out her phone, started scrolling. What are you doing? Angeline asked. Calling in those favors. My friend works at the Grand Hyatt. Housekeeping. She can tell us what room they're in when they come and go. I can't ask you to... You're not asking. I'm offering. We're going to figure this out together. Zuri looked up, her eyes fierce. Nobody comes to my city to hurt my people. Nobody. For the first time since last night, or Angeline felt something other than fear. She felt hope. Zuri's friend came through within 2 hours. Room 817, Zuri read from her phone. 4 guests checked in under 1 reservation. Aaron Webb. That's obviously fake. Angeline felt sick. Aaron. He'd used her mentor's name. That wasn't coincidence. That was a message. She says they've been going out every night around 10, coming back around 4 in the morning. During the day, they mostly stay in the room or use the hotel gym. What about today? They ordered room service at 11. Haven't left since. Zuri looked up. What are you thinking? What was she thinking? That she could somehow take on 4 trained men by herself? That she could what? Knock on their door and ask them nicely to leave Seoul? I need to know what they're planning, Angeline said. If I know when and where they're going to make a move, I can prepare. Prepare how? Angel, you're a tattoo artist, not Jason Bourne. But that wasn't entirely true. After Aaron died, after the trial, Angeline had spent 6 months learning how to protect herself. Krav Maga classes 3 times a week, gun range every Sunday. She'd been terrified, jumping at shadows, convinced Malik would find a way to get to her even from prison. Then, witness protection had relocated her, and she'd relaxed, stopped training, stopped being vigilant. Stupid. I can handle myself, she said, against 4 guys. I don't plan to fight them. I plan to disappear before they can find me. And go where? Angel, if they found you once, they'll find you again. That was the problem. Seoul was big but not infinite, and she loved this city. Loved her life here. The thought of running again, starting over somewhere else, made her want to scream. Then I need leverage, she said, thinking out loud. Something to make them back off. Like what? I don't know yet. Her burner phone rang. The hacker. I got into Malik's email, he said without preamble. You need to hear this. He's been communicating with someone in Seoul, someone local. Angeline's blood went cold. Who? Don't know yet. They're using encrypted messaging. But from context, it sounds like this person has been feeding him information. About you, about your routine. Can you trace it? Working on it. But Angel, there's something else. This local contact mentioned your boyfriend by name, Han Tae-sung. They know who he is, what he does. Her stomach dropped. What did they say? That he's a problem. That he needs to be handled before they can get to you. No. No, no, no. When? Her voice came out strangled. When are they planning to handle him? Soon. That's all I got. I'll keep digging. The line went dead. Angeline stood frozen, her mind racing. They were going to hurt Tae-sung. Kill him, probably. Because of her. Because she'd been selfish enough to love him, to stay with him, to let herself be visible. What's wrong? Zuri was watching her with worried eyes. You look like you're going to pass out. I have to warn him? Warn who? Tae-sung? They're going after him. Angeline grabbed her jacket. They're going to kill him because he's connected to me. Wait, slow down. Who told you this? A friend. A hacker. He's been helping me track Malik. Angeline was already heading for the door. I have to go. I have to warn him. Angel, stop. Zuri blocked her path. Think about this. You show up at his place after ghosting him for 24 hours. What's he going to say? What are you going to tell him? The truth. The whole truth? About Atlanta? About witness protection? Angeline hesitated. The thought of seeing that look on his face, the betrayal when he realized she'd lied to him for 2 years, made her feel sick. But better, betrayed, than dead. Yes, she said. Everything. Okay. Then I'm coming with you. Zuri, no. Yes. You're walking into a situation with a man you just broke up with, who has every reason to be angry, who also happens to be a crime boss. You need backup. Angeline wanted to argue, but Zuri had a point. And honestly, she was terrified of seeing Tai Sung, of his reaction, of everything. Fine. But we stay in public. His office, not his apartment. They caught a taxi to Gangnam. Tai Sung's legitimate business was an import company with offices in a gleaming tower near Co-X. Angeline had been there exactly twice. He kept that world separate from his real work. The lobby was all marble and glass. A receptionist looked up as they entered. "We're here to see Han Tai Sung," Angeline said. "Do you have an appointment?" "No, but he'll see me. Tell him it's Angeline." The receptionist made a call. Spoke quietly in Korean. Her eyebrows rose. She hung up. "I'm sorry. Mr. Han is not available." "Please, it's important." "Mr. Han is not in the office today. I can take a message." Not in the office. That wasn't like him. Tae Sung practically lived at that office during business hours. "Where is he?" Angeline asked. "I'm not at liberty to say." Zuri leaned over the desk, turned on her most charming smile. "Come on, help us out. It's an emergency." The receptionist's expression didn't change. "I cannot give out that information." They were getting nowhere. Angeline pulled out her burner phone, hesitated, then dialed Tae Sung's number from memory. It rang 4 times. Then voicemail, his voice, cold and professional. "Leave a message." "It's me," she said. "I know you're probably still angry, but I need to talk to you. It's about your safety. Please call me back." She left the burner number and hung up. "Now what?" Zuri asked. "Now we wait." They found a cafe across the street with a view of the office building. Ordered coffee they didn't drink. Waited. An hour passed. No call. "Maybe he's really not in the office," Zuri said. "Maybe he's at home. His penthouse has security. I can't just walk in." "Can you call that guy? His second in command?" Soo-jin. She could try, but Soo-jin's loyalty was to Tae Sung, not to her. If Tai Sung had told him not to put her calls through, he wouldn't. Still, it was worth a shot. She dialed. Soo-jin answered on the first ring. "Miss Kavindu." His voice was carefully neutral. "This is unexpected. I need to talk to Tae Sung. It's urgent." "Mr. Han is occupied at the moment." "Soo-jin, please. I'm not playing games. His life is in danger." There was a pause. "Explain." So she did. Quickly. Efficiently. Told him about Malik, about the threats, about the plan to go after Tae Sung. When she finished, Soo-jin was quiet for a long moment. "Where are you?" he asked finally. "Cafe across from the office." "Not why." "Stay there. Someone will pick you up in 10 minutes. He hung up. Angeline looked at Zuri. "I think it worked. Or he's sending someone to kill you for breaking his boss's heart." "Not funny." "Little bit funny." 10 minutes later, a black car pulled up outside the cafe. Not one of Tai Sung's usual cars. This one was armored, windows tinted so dark they were nearly opaque. The back door opened. Soo-jin stepped out. He was a thin man, sharp-featured, always impeccably dressed. Right now he looked tired. "Miss Cavindu, please come with me." "Where are we going?" "Somewhere secure. Mr. Han will meet you there." Angeline looked at Zuri. "You should go home. This doesn't involve you." "Like hell I'm leaving." Zuri stood up. I'm coming. Su Jin looked like he wanted to argue but just nodded. Both of you then. But quickly. The car ride was silent. Su Jin made several calls in rapid Korean. Angeline caught Tai Sung's name but nothing else. They drove out of Gangnam into an area she didn't recognize. Industrial. Lots of warehouses. The car pulled into an underground parking garage. Stopped. This way, Su Jin said. He led them into a building that looked abandoned from outside, but was clearly operational inside. Armed men at every entrance. Security cameras. This was one of Tai Sung's real offices, where he conducted his actual business. Angeline had never been here. He'd kept this part of his life completely separate from her. They took an elevator down. The doors opened onto a hallway lined with doors. Su Jin led them to a conference room at the end. Wait here, he said, and left. The room was windowless, a long table, chairs, nothing else. Zuri looked around nervously. This is some serious spy movie situation, she whispered. Yeah. Your boyfriend is really... I know. Like, really. I know, Zuri. The door opened. Angeline's heart jumped. But it wasn't Tae Sung. It was a woman, mid-40s, elegant in a way that spoke of money and power. She looked at Angeline with cold assessment. So you're the one causing all this trouble, the woman said in perfect English. Who are you? Min Seo. I handle security for Mr. Han's operations. She sat down, gestured for them to do the same. Tell me everything about these men looking for you. So Angeline told the story again. Atlanta, Aaron, the trial, Malik, all of it. Min Seo listened without expression. When Angeline finished, she pulled out a tablet and showed her a photo. No, is this him? It was Malik. Older than she remembered. Harder. But definitely him. Yes. Min Seo swiped. Showed her 3 more photos. These are the men with him. Angeline studied the faces. Didn't recognize any of them. We've been tracking them since yesterday, Min Seo said. They've made inquiries about you, about your shop. We intercepted them before they could do any damage. My shop? Angeline's throat tightened. Someone burned my shop. That wasn't them. That was us. The room tilted. What? Mr. Han's orders. After you left his apartment, he had men watching you. When you didn't go home, when your phone went dark, he became concerned. He had us stage the fire to make it look like you'd been targeted. Drew attention away from wherever you actually were. Angeline couldn't breathe. So he burned my shop? The damage is minimal. Cosmetic. Insurance will cover it. The important thing is it worked. These men looking for you think you're running scared. Makes them careless. I don't understand. Angeline's head was spinning. Why would he do that? Min Seo gave her a look that was almost pitying. Because he loves you. Obviously. Hey, quick question while we're at the intense part. Do you think Tae Sung went too far burning Angeline's shop to protect her? Or was it actually smart? Let me know what you think in the comments. Where is he? Angeline demanded. I need to see him. He's dealing with a situation. The men you told Su Jin about, the ones planning to target him, they made their move 2 hours ago. Angeline's blood turned to ice. What happened? Is he okay? He's fine. They're not. Min Seo stood. He'll be here soon. Until then, you wait. I'm not good at waiting. Learn. Min Seo walked to the door, paused. For what it's worth, you should have told him the truth from the beginning. He doesn't like lies. Then she was gone. Angeline sat in stunned silence. Zuri reached over and squeezed her hand. Your boyfriend is intense, she said. He's not my boyfriend. We broke up. Girl, he burned down your shop to protect you. You're not broken up. You're in some kind of twisted romance novel. Maybe she was right. Nothing about her relationship with Tae Sung had ever been normal. From the first day he'd walked into her shop, demanding she tattoo him immediately, even though she was booked for months. She'd said no. He'd offered her triple her rate. She'd still said no. So he'd come back the next day. And the next. For 2 weeks straight until she finally agreed. just to get him to stop. That first session, she'd expected him to be difficult, demanding. Instead, he'd been quiet, patient. Let her work without interference. And when she'd finished the outline of his back piece, he'd looked at it in the mirror and smiled. Actually smiled. "You're talented," he'd said. "I know." That had made him laugh. Confident, too. Have to be. This industry doesn't respect timid. He'd booked his next appointment before leaving. And the next. Once a week for months, sitting in her chair for hours while she worked on the massive phoenix spreading across his shoulders. They'd talked during those sessions about art, about soul, about her life in America, though she'd kept it vague. He never talked about his work, but she'd figured it out anyway. The men waiting outside, the expensive clothes, the way people looked at him with fear and respect in equal measure. She should have run then, should have refused to see him, but she hadn't, because despite everything, despite who he was, he made her feel seen, safe, wanted. And now he'd burned her shop to protect her. She didn't know whether to kiss him or kill him. The door opened again. This time it was Tai-sung. He looked the same as always. Perfect suit. Perfect hair. But there was something different in his eyes. Something wild and dangerous, barely contained. His gaze locked on her. For a moment, nobody moved. Then he crossed the room in 3 strides and pulled her into his arms. The hug was crushing, desperate. She felt him shaking. "You're okay," he said against her hair. "You're okay." Angeline's anger melted. She wrapped her arms around him, held on tight. "I'm okay." He pulled back, cupped her face in his hands. His eyes searched hers. "When you disappeared, when I couldn't find you, I thought, I know, I'm sorry." "Sorry?" His voice turned sharp. "You're sorry? Angeline, I have had every resource I own looking for you for the past 24 hours. Do you have any idea what I thought happened? You burned my shop. I saved your life. You could have just called me. You weren't answering." His hands dropped. The shutters came back down over his expression. "You made it very clear you wanted nothing to do with me. That's not. I was protecting you. I don't need protection." "Yes, you do. Malik and his men, they were planning to kill you. They tried. They failed." He said it so casually, like attempted murder was a minor inconvenience. 3 of them came to my office this afternoon, posed as delivery men, got past the first level of security. Angeline's heart stopped. "What happened?" "What do you think happened? They're not a problem anymore." The coldness in his voice sent chills down her spine. This was the Tai-sung most people saw. The one she'd tried to pretend didn't exist. "You killed them," she said quietly. "I protected myself. That's what I do, Angeline. That's who I am. The same person I was 2 nights ago when you walked out. This is different. No, it's not. You just finally see it clearly." He turned away. "Minseo briefed me on your situation, the witness protection, the gang from Atlanta. You lied to me for 2 years. I was trying to stay alive. By lying to the one person who could have actually protected you." He spun back, and now there was real anger in his face. "Do you know what I could have done if I'd known? The resources I have? But instead, you played pretend, acted like you were just some American artist with no past. And now there are 4 men in my city trying to kill you." 3, Zuri said quietly from the corner. "You said 3 came to your office." Tai-sung's jaw tightened. "1 is still out there. Malik himself, he wasn't with them." "Do you know where he is?" Angeline asked. "Not yet. But I will." He pulled out his phone. "Minseo is coordinating with our contacts. Every hotel, every rental property, every known safe house. We'll find him." "And then what?" He looked at her. "What do you think? Tai-sung, you can't just kill him. Watch me. He's an American citizen. If he turns up dead, there will be investigations. FBI involvement. It'll bring heat on you. I don't care. Well, I do. Angeline stepped closer. I care about you, about your safety. That's why I didn't tell you. That's why I was trying to handle this myself. Handle it how? You're one person, Angeline, against trained killers. I've handled worse. When? When you ran from witness protection? When you hid in Seoul hoping your past wouldn't find you? That's not handling it. That's surviving. Barely. His words stung because they were true. She had been barely surviving, jumping at shadows, never really settling, never really free. So what do you want me to do? She asked. Just let you take over? Let you fix my problems with violence? Yes. That's not who I am. Maybe it should be. He was close now, close enough that she could see the exhaustion in his eyes. Because the way you've been doing things, it's not working. And your way works? Jiwoo is still dead. Those 3 men today are still dead. How many bodies does it take before you realize violence doesn't solve everything? It solves enough. They stared at each other. The tension in the room was suffocating. Zuri cleared her throat. Maybe I should give you two some privacy. Stay, Tai-sung said without looking away from Angeline. You're her friend. You should hear this too. He took a breath. I'm not letting you leave again. Not until Malik is dealt with. No, you'll stay at my penthouse under protection. No, that wasn't a request. And I'm not your prisoner. You're the woman I love. The words came out raw, unguarded. And I will do whatever it takes to keep you alive, even if you hate me for it. Angeline felt tears burning her eyes. I don't hate you. You should. I'm everything you ran from. Everything you testified against. You're not like Malik. Aren't I? We both run criminal organizations. We both kill people who cross us. The only difference is you choose to see me differently. Because you are different. Malik murdered my mentor in cold blood over a turf dispute. You live by codes, rules. There's honor in what you do. Tae-sung laughed bitterly. Honor? You think there's honor in smuggling? In extortion? In murder? I think there's honor in you. He was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke again, his voice was softer. You don't know me as well as you think. Then let me know you. Really know you. No more secrets. No more secrets, he agreed. Starting with this. I had men following you from the day we met. I knew about Atlanta within a month. The trial. The witness protection. All of it. The floor dropped out from under her. What? I investigate everyone who gets close to me. It's basic security. When your background came back mostly blank, I dug deeper. Found the sealed records. The new identity. You knew, her voice shook. This whole time you knew, and you never said anything? I was waiting for you to tell me yourself. That's not... You let me lie to you for 2 years. You weren't lying to me. You were protecting yourself. There's a difference. He stepped closer. I understood why you ran. Why you hid. I didn't push because I wanted you to trust me enough to tell me when you were ready. And if I never told you, then I would have kept your secret until the day I died. Angeline didn't know what to say, didn't know how to process this. He'd known. He'd always known. Why? She whispered. Why didn't you just tell me you knew? Because I loved you. And love means letting people have their secrets until they're ready to share them. A tear slipped down her cheek. He brushed it away with his thumb. But now your secret is here, he continued, in Seoul, threatening you. And I can't just protect you from the shadows anymore. I need you to let me help. Really help. She wanted to say no, and wanted to cling to her independence, but she was tired. So tired of running, of hiding, of being afraid. Okay, she said. Okay. Relief flooded his face. He pulled her close again, pressed his forehead to hers. I've got you. I promise. Behind them, Zuri sniffled. That was beautiful. Toxic as hell, but beautiful. Despite everything, Angeline laughed. Tae-sung did too, quiet and surprised. Your friend is interesting, he said. My friend has been here this whole time watching you two have a moment and is seriously reconsidering her stance on crime bosses, Zuri said. Also, can someone please get me out of this scary building? I have a club to promote tonight. Tae-sung pulled back. Soo-jin will drive you wherever you need to go. Seriously. You're important to Angeline. That makes you important to me. Zuri looked at Angeline. Okay, I take back what I said. Keep him. After Zuri left, it was just the two of them in the conference room. Tae-sung sat down heavily in one of the chairs. Angeline noticed a cut on his hand. Fresh. You're hurt, she said. It's nothing. She took his hand, examined the cut. Deep, but clean. This needs stitches. I've had worse. I know. I've seen the scars. She'd traced every one of them during their time together. Bullet wound on his shoulder. Knife scar along his ribs. Evidence of a life lived in violence. There's a first aid kit in the office down the hall, he said. Top drawer. She found it, came back, cleaned and bandaged his hand while he watched her. I missed this, he said quietly. Oh, me playing nurse? You touching me without anger. She finished tying off the bandage, didn't let go of his hand. I wasn't angry at you. Not really. I was angry at the situation, at feeling helpless. You're not helpless. I felt like it. When I saw Jiwoo's name in the news, when I realized you'd ordered it, I couldn't reconcile the man I loved with the man who could do that. And now? Now I'm trying to understand that you're both, that you can be gentle with me and ruthless with everyone else, that those things can coexist. They have to. In my world, gentleness is weakness. It gets you killed. But with you... He turned his hand over, laced his fingers through hers. With you, I want to be gentle. Want to be better. I don't need you to be better. I need you to be honest. Then honestly, I'm terrified. The admission seemed to cost him. When I couldn't find you yesterday, when I thought something had happened, I realized I can't lose you. Won't survive it. You would survive. You're the strongest person I know. Strength doesn't matter when your reason for living is gone. The words hung between them. Heavy. True. Angeline stood, pulled him up with her, wrapped her arms around him properly this time. He held her like she was something precious, breakable. We're going to get through this, she said against his chest. Together. Together, he agreed. His phone buzzed. He checked it, his expression hardening. What is it? She asked. Minseo found Malik. He's at a nightclub in Gangnam. Arena. The same club his men had been at last night. Is she sure? Positive. He's drinking at the VIP section like he doesn't have a care in the world. Tae-sung's voice was ice, arrogant. What are you going to do? He looked at her. What do you want me to do? The question surprised her. You're asking me? This is your fight. Your past. I can end it tonight. One word from you and he's gone. Or we can do this differently. Turn him over to the Korean police. Let them deport him. Let the American justice system handle it. You'd do that? Let him live? If that's what you want. Yes. Angeline thought about Malik, about Orhan, about 3 years of running and hiding and fear, about the texts, the threats, the photos, about the 3 men who tried to kill Tae-sung today. I want to talk to him, she said. Tae-sung's eyebrows rose. Talk to him. Face to face. I want to know why. Why he came all this way. Why he won't just let it go. Angeline, that's not safe. I'll have you with me. You're men. I'll be safe. She grabbed his arm. Please. I need closure. I need to look him in the eye and tell him I'm not afraid anymore. He studied her face for a long moment, then nodded. Okay, but we do this my way. My location. My terms. Deal. And if he makes one wrong move, if I even think he's a threat, I'm ending it. I understand. Tae-sung made a call, spoke rapidly in Korean. When he hung up, he looked grim. It's set. Min Seo will bring him to the warehouse by the river. 1 hour. Just like that? Just like that. He cupped her face. Are you sure about this? No. She wasn't sure. The thought of seeing Malik again made her want to throw up, but she needed to do this, needed to face her past head-on. I'm sure, she lied. He saw right through her, but didn't argue. Just kissed her forehead and said, I'll be right beside you. That would have to be enough. The warehouse by the river was exactly what Angeline expected. Cold concrete, dim lights, the smell of water and rust. The kind of place where bad things happened and nobody asked questions. Tae-sung's men were positioned at every entrance. She counted at least 12, all armed, all watching her with curious eyes. The American woman who'd made their boss lose his mind for 24 hours. Min Seo was already there, leaning against a metal table in the center of the space. She straightened when they entered. He's in the car outside, she said, sedated but conscious. Do you want him restrained? Tae-sung looked at Angeline. Your call. Restrained, she said. Her voice sounded steadier than she felt. Chair in the middle, hands tied. Min Seo nodded and spoke into her radio. A minute later, 2 men dragged Malik inside. He looked different than his photos. Thinner, harder. His eyes were unfocused from whatever they'd given him, but when he saw Angeline, clarity sharpened his gaze. Well, he slurred slightly. There she is. Little angel. All grown up. They shoved him into a chair. Zip tied his wrists behind him. He didn't resist, just kept staring at her with that predatory smile. You've been hard to find, Malik continued. 3 years I've been looking. 3 years. Angeline forced herself to step closer. Tae-sung moved with her, a solid presence at her back. Why? She asked. Why come all this way? I testified. You went to prison. It's over. Over? Malik laughed. It was an ugly sound. You think it's over? You destroyed my life, my organization, my reputation. Because of you, I lost everything. Because of you, Aaron is dead. Aaron was weak. He knew the rules. He broke them. He was trying to get out. He didn't want that life anymore. Nobody gets out. Malik's eyes flicked to Tae-sung. Ain't that right, boss man? Nobody leaves the life. Not really. Tae-sung didn't respond. His hand rested lightly on Angeline's lower back, grounding her. You could have just let it go, Angeline said. You served your time. You're out now. Free. Why chase me? Because you need to learn that actions have consequences. You think you can just testify against people and walk away? Start a new life like nothing happened. He leaned forward as far as the restraints allowed. Nah, that's not how this works. So what? You were going to kill me? That was your plan? Eventually. But first I wanted you to suffer. Wanted you to feel what I felt. Losing everything. Your shop. Your man. Your sense of safety. His smile widened. The fear in your eyes right now? That's what I came for. But Angeline wasn't afraid. Not anymore. Looking at Malik now, tied to a chair, desperate and pathetic, she felt nothing but pity. I'm not afraid of you, she said quietly. His smile faltered. You should be. Why? You're done. Your men are dead. You're alone in a foreign country with no backup and no way out. You lost, Malik. I still got one card to play. He looked past her. Ain't that right, sweetheart? Angeline turned. Min Seo was pointing a gun at Tae-sung's head. Everything stopped. Min Seo, what are you doing? Tae-sung's voice was deadly calm. I'm sorry, Min Seo said. She actually sounded sorry. But he paid me $500,000. American. That's retirement money. That's my daughter's college fund. You've been with me for 8 years. And I've been loyal. Until the price was right. Her hand was steady. Tell your men to stand down, or I shoot. Tae-sung raised his voice, spoke in Korean. The men lowered their weapons slowly. Angeline's mind was racing. This was bad, really bad. Min Seo knew everything. Every security protocol, every safe house, every weakness. What's the play here? Tae-sung asked. You shoot me. My men kill you instantly. Not if Angel here comes with me as insurance. Min Seo gestured with the gun. Cut Malik loose. Both of them come with me. I deliver them to the airport. Such Malik gets his revenge. I get my money. Everyone wins. Except me, Angeline said. You should have stayed in witness protection. Would have saved everyone a lot of trouble. Malik was laughing now. Actually laughing. See? This is beautiful. This is justice. One of Tae-sung's men started to move. Min Seo fired a warning shot into the ceiling. Everyone froze. Next one goes in his head, she said. I like you, boss. Really. But business is business. Tae-sung's jaw was tight. Angeline could feel the rage rolling off him in waves. He was calculating, looking for an opening. Let me go with them, Angeline said quietly. No. Tae-sung, listen. No. He looked at Min Seo. Name your price. Whatever he paid you, I'll double it. Triple it, Min Seo countered. Done. She shook her head. Can't. Already took his money. I don't go back on deals. Bad for reputation. Your reputation will be dead along with you if you do this. Maybe. But my daughter will be set for life. That's worth dying for. The conviction in her voice was absolute. She really believed this, was really willing to die for money. Angeline's hand slipped into her jacket pocket, felt the small knife she always carried, a habit from her Atlanta days. 3-inch blade. Not much, but better than nothing. Okay, she said. I'll go, just don't hurt him. Angel, no. Tae-sung grabbed her arm. She looked up at him, tried to communicate with her eyes. Trust me. He saw something in her face. His grip loosened. Cut Malik loose, Min Seo ordered. One of the men approached with a knife, cut the zip ties. Malik stood, rubbing his wrists, grinning like he'd won the lottery. Oh, and this is going to be fun, he said. Angeline walked toward them. Each step felt like moving through water. Her heart was pounding, but her hands were steady. She'd trained for this. Spent 6 months learning how to fight, how to survive. She just hoped she remembered. Turn around, Min Seo said when Angeline got close. Hands behind your back. Angeline turned, felt zip ties tighten around her wrists. Not too tight. Min Seo wasn't trying to hurt her, just contain her. That was a mistake. Let's go. Malik grabbed Angeline's arm roughly, started pulling her toward the door. Min Seo backed up with them, gun still trained on Tae-sung. They were almost to the exit when Angeline made her move. She dropped her weight suddenly, pulled the small knife from her pocket with her tied hands. It was awkward, difficult. But she managed to flip it open. Malik cursed and yanked harder. She twisted, brought the knife up, slashed at his hand. He yelped and let go. Everything happened at once. Tae-sung moved. Fast. Closed the distance to Min Seo in 2 seconds. Grabbed her gun hand. There was a brief struggle. A shot fired. Angeline dove to the floor, rolled. Malik was coming for her. His face twisted with rage. She kicked out. Caught him in the knee. He went down hard. More gunfire. Angeline couldn't tell who was shooting. She sawed frantically at the zip ties with her tiny knife. The plastic finally gave. Her hands came free. Malik was getting up. She grabbed a metal pipe from the floor, swung hard, connected with his shoulder. He howled. You little! He lunged at her. She sidestepped. Swung again. This time caught him across the face. Blood sprayed. He went down and didn't get up. Angeline stood over him, breathing hard, pipe raised for another strike. It's over. Tae-sung's voice cut through the chaos. "Angel, it's over." She looked up. Tae-sung had Min-seo on the ground, knee on her back, her own gun pointed at her head. The other men had surrounded them. Nobody else was shooting. Angeline lowered the pipe slowly. Her whole body was shaking now. Adrenaline crash. Tae-sung spoke sharply in Korean. 2 men moved to restrain Min-seo. 2 more grabbed Malik, who was groaning and bleeding from his nose. Then Tae-sung was there, pulling Angeline into his arms, checking her for injuries. "I'm okay," she managed. "I'm okay." "You're incredible," he said fiercely. "And insane, but mostly incredible. Learned from the best." He actually smiled, then kissed her, hard and desperate and relieved. When they broke apart, Min-seo was being dragged to her feet. She looked at Tae-sung with resignation. "Make it quick," she said. "I'm not going to kill you," Tae-sung said. Everyone looked surprised, including Angeline. "Your daughter," he continued. "How old is she?" 16. "What's her name?" "Jia." Tae-sung was quiet for a moment. "I knew her father. He died working for me 5 years ago." Min-seo's expression cracked, just slightly. "I promised him I'd take care of you both," Tae-sung said. "Set up a fund for her education. Made sure you had a good position in my organization. And you repay me by selling me out for money I would have given you if you'd just asked. You can't know what it's like, raising a kid alone, worrying every day about money, about the future. You're right. I don't know. But I trusted you. Gave you access to my most sensitive operations. To the woman I love." His voice went cold. "That trust is broken. You're out, effective immediately. You're letting me go? I'm letting you live. For Gia's sake, for her father's memory. But if I ever see you again, if you ever come near anyone I care about, I will forget that mercy. Understand?" Min-seo nodded. She looked smaller now, defeated. "Get her out of here," Tae-sung said. The men escorted her out, which left Malik. He was conscious now, blood streaming from his broken nose, looking at Angeline with pure hatred. "So what now?" he spat. "You gonna kill me too? Big bad gangster protecting his girl?" Tae-sung looked at Angeline. "What do you want to do with him?" This was it, the moment of choice. She could tell Tae-sung to end it, to make Malik disappear. Problem solved. No more looking over her shoulder, no more fear. But that would make her just like him. Just like Malik. Someone who solved problems with violence. "Call the police," she said. Malik's eyes widened. "What?" "Call the Korean police. Tell them you caught an American fugitive who violated his parole by leaving the country, who came here to commit murder. Let them handle it." "Angel, he'll just come after you again when he gets out," Tae-sung said quietly. "No, he won't. Because I'm not hiding anymore. I'm not running. Let him come. Let him try." She looked at Malik. "I survived you once. I'll survive you again. But I'm done being afraid." Tae-sung studied her face, then nodded. "Soo-jin, call our contact at the police department. Tell them we have a gift for them." 20 minutes later, Korean police arrived. Angeline gave a statement, showed them the threatening texts, the photos, explained about the parole violation. Malik screamed threats the whole time they dragged him away, promised he'd find her, kill her, destroy everything she loved. Angeline just watched him go, felt nothing but relief. When the police left, it was just her and Tae-sung and his men in the warehouse. "That was either very brave or very stupid," Tae-sung said. "Maybe both. He'll be in Korean prison for a while. Assault, stalking, parole violation. Then they'll deport him back to the US, where his parole officer will be very interested to hear what he's been doing." "Good. But Angel, he's right. Eventually he'll get out, and he'll remember." "Let him remember. I'll be ready." She looked up at him. "And I'll have you." "Always," He kissed her again. Softer this time. Sweet. One of his men cleared his throat awkwardly. Tae-sung pulled back with a slight smile. "Let's go home," he said. Home. His penthouse, where this whole mess had started 2 nights ago. So much had changed since then. The ride back was quiet. Angeline sat pressed against Tae-sung's side, his arm around her shoulders. She was exhausted, bruised. Her hands hurt from gripping the pipe, but she was alive. Safe. Free. At the penthouse, Tae-sung ran her a bath, helped her wash the warehouse grime off, bandaged her scraped knuckles. The intimacy of it made her throat tight. "Thank you," she said quietly. "For what?" "For letting me make the choice. About Malik. You could have just killed him." "I almost did. When he grabbed you, I wanted to tear him apart." His hand stilled on her wrist. "But you're right. You're not me. You don't have to solve problems my way. What if I want to sometimes? Want to be more like you?" He looked up sharply. "No. Don't wish for that." "Why not? You're strong, powerful, feared. And lonely. And covered in blood that never washes off." He cupped her face. "You're good, Angeline. Really good. Don't let my darkness change that." "What if I'm not as good as you think? What if I wanted you to kill him? Part of me did. Part of me still does. That's human. That's normal. But you chose differently. That's what matters." She leaned into his touch. "I love you, even knowing what you do, who you are. I love you. I love you too. More than I thought I could love anyone." They stayed like that for a long moment. Then he helped her out of the bath, got her into one of his shirts, led her to bed. She expected him to join her, but he stayed sitting on the edge. "What's wrong?" she asked. "I need to handle the Minseo situation. Make sure her betrayal didn't compromise anything else. It's going to take all night. So come back when you're done. It might be days, Angel. This is complicated. She knew everything. I have to assume she sold it all. Have to rebuild entire security systems. Move operations. It's a mess. Then I'll wait." He smiled sadly. "You don't have to. I know this isn't the life you wanted. If you need to go, need space, I understand. I'm not going anywhere. You say that now. But tomorrow, next week, when you really think about what being with me means, you might change your mind." Angeline sat up, grabbed his hand. "Oh, Tae-sung, look at me." He did. "I'm not leaving. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not ever. I choose this. I choose you. All of you. The good and the bad and the complicated. Even though I'm a criminal. Even though I hurt people. Even though. I'm not saying I agree with everything you do. I'm saying I love you anyway. We'll figure out the rest as we go." He searched her face, looking for doubt, for hesitation. Found none. "Okay," he said finally. "Okay." He kissed her forehead, then left to handle his business. Angeline lay in his bed, staring at the ceiling. This was insane. She knew that. Loving a mafia boss, accepting his world, his violence. But she'd tried living without him. Those 24 hours of running and hiding and fear, and she'd been miserable. At least with him, she felt alive. Her phone buzzed. The burner, and she'd forgotten about it. A text from Zuri. "Girl, you better be alive. Text me back or I'm calling the cops." Angeline smiled. Typed back, "I'm alive. At Tae-sung's. Long story. We'll call tomorrow." "You better. I want all the details. The safe for work ones anyway." "Deal." Angeline set the phone aside, closed her eyes. For the first time in 3 years, she felt at peace. "Before you go, I need to know. Are you Team Angeline or Team Tae-sung? Who handled this situation better? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe because I've got more stories like this coming your way. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's next." 3 months later, Angeline stood in her new shop. Not an Ida one this time. In Gangnam. Prime location. expensive rent that Tai Sung insisted on paying despite her protests. So the insurance money from the fire had covered new equipment. Better equipment. Her client list had grown, apparently nearly dying, and dating a crime boss was good for business in certain circles. "Your 2 o'clock is here," her new assistant said. A college student named Hana, who was studying art and needed the money. "Send them in." The client was a young woman, nervous, first tattoo. Angeline spent an hour talking her through the design, making her comfortable. This was what she loved. The art, the connection, creating something permanent and beautiful. At 6, she closed up shop. Tae Sung's car was waiting outside. It always was. She'd stopped fighting the security detail, mostly. Soo Jin opened the door for her. He'd been cold to her for weeks after the Minseo incident, blamed her for the security breach, but eventually he'd thawed, especially after she'd helped him pick out a birthday present for his mother. "Good day," he asked. "Busy? You?" The same. They'd developed an easy rapport. He still thought she was a dangerous distraction for his boss. She still thought he was overly paranoid. But they'd found middle ground. At the penthouse, Tae Sung was already home. Rare for him. He usually worked until midnight. "Hey," she said, dropping her bag. "You're here early. Wanted to see you." He pulled her into a kiss. "How was the shop?" "Good. Booked solid for the next 2 months. Told you Gangnam was the right location." "Don't gloat." He smiled, that soft smile he only gave her. Wouldn't dream of it. They had dinner together, talked about their days. It was almost normal, almost domestic, except for the part where he casually mentioned handling a territorial dispute with a rival gang. "Anyone hurt?" she asked. "Some bruises. Nothing serious. We came to an agreement." Good. This was their compromise. He didn't hide his work from her. She didn't judge him for it. They existed in this strange space between two worlds. After dinner, they sat on the balcony. Seoul spread out below them. Millions of lights. Millions of lives. "I got a call from Agent Morrison today," Angeline said. Tae Sung tensed slightly. What did he want? To tell me Malik took a plea deal. 20 years. He won't be eligible for parole until he's 60. Good. Yeah. She leaned against him. It's really over. How do you feel? Relieved. Free. Like I can finally breathe properly. His arm tightened around her. I'm glad. Morrison also said the FBI is investigating the leak. Found out it was a clerical error, not intentional. Someone new who didn't understand the protocols. Idiots. Yeah, but at least it wasn't corruption, just incompetence. They sat in comfortable silence. The city hummed below. I've been thinking, Tae Sung said after a while. Dangerous. He ignored the joke. About us. About the future. Her heart skipped. Okay? I know I said no secrets, but there's one thing I haven't told you. Tae Sung, if you're secretly married or something, I swear. I'm not married. He turned to face her. But I am planning to expand my operations into legitimate business, real estate, technology, things that don't involve violence. Really, I'm not going to stop being who I am. The organization still exists, still needs leadership. But I can diversify, build something cleaner alongside it. Why? Because of you. Because I want a future where you're not constantly worried I'm going to end up in prison or dead. Because I love you, and I want to give you the best version of myself I can manage. Angeline felt tears prick her eyes. That's the most romantic thing anyone's ever said to me. I have my moments. She kissed him. Slow and deep and full of promise. When they broke apart, she said, I have something to tell you too. Okay. I've been talking to some of the other expats in Seoul, black women specifically, and a lot of them struggle to find good tattoo artists who understand their skin tones, their hair textures, their cultural references. I'm following. So I want to expand too, maybe open a second shop. Or do guest spots in other cities. Build a network. Create spaces where Black women feel seen and celebrated. That's incredible. Yeah? Yeah. You should absolutely do that. Whatever you need. Money, connections, I can help. I want to do it myself. Prove I can. Then prove it. I'll just be here supporting you. She smiled. I can live with that. They sat together until the city lights started to blur, until exhaustion pulled at them both, until the night felt less like an ending and more like a beginning. Inside, getting ready for bed, Angeline caught sight of herself in the mirror. She looked different than she had 3 months ago. Stronger, more confident, less afraid. Seoul had changed her. Tae-sung had changed her. But maybe she'd changed them too. Changed him. She thought about the man who'd refused to drive her home that night, who'd let his pride override his concern. He wouldn't make that choice now. He'd proven it over and over. Every time he came home early, every time he asked her opinion, every time he chose her over his ego. And she'd changed too. The woman who ran from her problems wouldn't have faced Malik, wouldn't have chosen justice over revenge, wouldn't have stayed with a man whose world was built on violence. But she had. And somehow, impossibly, it worked. You're thinking too loud, Tae-sung said from the bed. Sorry. Come here. She did. Curled into his side, felt his heartbeat steady and strong under her cheek. I'm happy, she said, surprising herself. Despite everything, despite how complicated this is, I'm happy. Me too. Is this crazy? Us? Absolutely. But it works. It does. She tilted her head up, kissed his jaw. I love you, Han Tae-sung. I love you, Angeline Kavindu. No more secrets between them, no more lies. Just two people from different worlds who'd found something worth fighting for. Outside, Seoul kept moving. The city that had become her home. The place where she'd run to hide, and ended up finding herself instead. Somewhere out there, Malik was in a Korean prison cell. Min Seo was starting over with her daughter. Agent Morrison was filing paperwork. Zuri was promoting another club night. Life went on. Messy and complicated and beautiful. And Angeline was finally, fully part of it. Not hiding, not running, just living. With a man who would burn down cities for her, but also let her make her own choices. Koba who was ruthless and gentle in equal measure. Who was exactly what she needed, even when she didn't know she needed it. Was it a fairy tale ending? No. Tae-sung was still a Mafia boss, still made decisions she didn't agree with, still came home with blood on his hands sometimes. But it was real. And it was theirs. And that was enough. In the morning, she'd open her shop. He'd run his empire. They'd navigate the impossible balance of their lives. But tonight, they just held each other. Two people who'd found home in the last place they expected, in the darkness, in the gray, in each other. Seoul glittered outside the windows, a city of second chances, of new beginnings, of possibilities. And Angeline was ready for all of it. 6 months after that night in the warehouse, Angeline got a tattoo of her own, a small phoenix on her wrist, rising from ashes, surviving fire. Tae-sung watched her work on it in the mirror. His back piece was finally finished. The massive phoenix she'd spent 2 years creating. It matched hers now. Connected them. No regrets? He asked. She met his eyes in the mirror, smiled. Not one. And she meant it. This was her life now, her choice, her love, complicated and dangerous and absolutely worth it. The end. So what did you think? Did Angeline and Tae-sung's story give you all the feels? If you enjoyed this journey, smash that subscribe button because I'm bringing you more stories that'll have you on the edge of your seat. Drop a comment telling me what part hit you hardest, and I'll see you in the next one. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.